Let's talk about Smash Brothers. Hello, everyone. This is Rebirth, and if you like my content, to subscribe. I am a huge Smash Brothers fan, and I'm going to be talking about Tales of Representation, and who would most likely become a representation for Smash if we ever get one. So, this is pretty much like a more in-depth because I played every single crossover game with a Tales of character, and I know who have made the most appearances with each Tales of character. There's this app, I forget the name of it. I think it was like Heroes something, where like you get a hero, the guy's like you pick like Earth, Fire, or Water. I forget the game, but it's like an app, and it's been like there forever. They had Sophie, Archie, Douse as like the final one, Mila, and Jude. So if I say a character, these characters have made multiple crossovers ever since they came into after the Tales of release, or I have evidence like multiple game crossovers of them being in there. So I'm gonna do things pretty much in order of things that have been premiered most to least, if that makes sense. Um, and the first two are Jude and Mila. Jude and Mila, Azealia is very very popular in Tales of fandom. Um, and I do feel like this next pack might be an all female pack, so that means Jude might get the short stick, but I feel like Jude and Mila, like whenever they're in a crossover, like they've been an extra boss for I think two Tales of games now. They've been it for Baricia um and Zestiria. They made it to I think to date five app crossovers. They got mentioned in Sword Art Online. So then this Zestiria, but since Zestiria did not have any characters that actually crossed over, that makes it a little bit harder to be like, oh, we could have Sori. I'm sorry, guys, but there's no real niche characters. These guys have made multiple crossovers. So for that, they're the lowest because they have four mobile and one game. But they were AX bosses for two times, so they might have a higher chance. But I sort of pictured them like ice climbers. Like they're never separated in the Tales of crossovers. So if you get Mila, you're gonna get Jude, and if you get Jude, you're gonna get Mila. That's the problem with Jude and Mila is that they're sort of like a combined package because every crossover that they've been in, they've been a combined package in some way, shape, or form. So that's the problem with Jude and Mila is that they're a combined package. Um, so the next character will actually surprise you. Douse from Tales of Fantasia. Now, yes, he's the first villain, and he's also the oldest character in this whole speculation because Douse has been in the community since 1995. So you're like, duh, who wouldn't put Douse in their list? Like he's been there forever. He's been in multiple crossovers. He was actually referenced in Ruby with their Halloween special with Yang because I actually met the creator of Roaster Teeth and I was cosplaying Douse and they're like, I love your Yang reference. And I'm like, I'm actually cosplaying Douse. And they're like, we're huge Tales of fans. So obviously Douse has had a more prominent like people would like whenever you think of main villains, you think of Sephiroth and Douse. Like when you think of main villains, you always think of these two characters because they've been in the fandom for so long or they're very popular. And because he made multiple app and he's also been final boss and an extra boss with a remake too, um he is very popular with the Tales of fandom. And I wouldn't be shocked that he doesn't come in at the same time. He has, at least to my knowledge, 25 appearances. 25. that are not Tales of games, and so he's a more popular like we all know who Douse is. So it's just like, oh, like when you think of a main villain, I know people are like, we need more villains. Well, here's a villain. He's sort of known like Sephiroth, so he's very popular. And yeah. Next is, I think you guys are not shocked, Lloyd Irving. I think Lloyd Irving has a huge, huge, huge chance of getting to Smash. But the problem is that he's a sword fighter. And that's pretty much his only problem, is that he's a sword fighter. But he's been in... Last time I checked, 20 crossovers that aren't his game. Again, 20 crossovers that aren't his game. 20! Like, Lloyd can be into Smash, and it's crazy how, like, the next person was 25, but Lloyd is a little bit more popular and a little bit more known. And if you're not into Tales of fandom, you probably only know Lloyd. So that's why Lloyd is here. They're like in the middle. Like, hey, we know that Lloyd can be in Smash. And he has the highest chance because he's been in the most crossovers. Next one, I hate to say it, it's sort of like a trio. Get a little sneaky peeky. It's the trio from Project X Zone. Um, all three of these have Project X Zone, which was a very popular game, and all three of them have represented. So that means we'll have an anti-hero, Estelle, spoilers. She was a villain for a little bit, so that's why she got an anti-hero. An anti-hero, Yuri, and then we have a hero, Flynn. So, like, we actually get a new arc of characters, which is nice. We actually get a new thing, which is anti-heroes, but the problem is that they're all sword fighters, and I think people don't want a sword fighter. So that's the problem with these three, is that they're all sword fighters, and I can't really debate with people not wanting sword fighters. And the final character is Velvet. I think Velvet is the only female character from a recent game that I can feel like can make it, because Tales of is a very popular franchise, and having from the most recent character from the most recent game would be interesting. Like, she does have a more safe for work attire too, like her villager outfit. So like, your parents complain that she's too revealing, they could have her default be the villager outfit, which I wouldn't mind. Like, she still fights the same, she just doesn't have the claw yet. But she sort of would fight like Enzo from Assassin's Creed, because she has like the cool little like hand knife thingy bobber. But this is my last character. I don't know. I'm a huge Tales of fan, but these are the characters with the most crossovers, and I feel like a lot of people forget that Jude and Mila are sort of a combined package. So for Smash, they need to understand like if characters are seen as a combined package, you have to sort of have the two characters together. So those are my Tales of characters that could make it because due to multiple crossovers in games.